Hello, everybody. This is Deshae Peacock, author, lifestylist, and retreat leader, and I'd like to welcome you to Sweet Spot Style Your Biz using intentions and vision boards. And I'm super glad that you're here. And I am just thrilled to offer this. It's the second time I've offered this workshop, and a couple of you, over 122 people signed up last time. And I'm super excited to share this one with you now. So as people sign in, you will see that there's a chat box below. Go ahead and put your name in the chat box and tell me where you're from and tell me what you hope to learn from this class. And throughout this class, I'll be checking in with you on chat and I'll be answering your questions, and hopefully we can have some interaction. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen share, which means that you're going to see some really funny stuff on the screen for a minute. So don't freak out if you haven't seen a webinar with screen share. It's supposed to do this. It's just going to look a little bit funny, and it's going to take just a minute for it to work. And so while I do that, I hope that everybody's getting settled in. And let me know where you're from in the chat box. Okay. Here we go. All right, so you should be able to see on your screen my presentation, and we're going to be talking about using intentions and vision boards to create a life and business that you love. So even if you're not thinking about starting a business right now, I think this will still be helpful for you because this is about your life as well. Okay, so I want to start with this little quote. Manifesting is just getting what you want. I get what I want. I love that quote because it's so simple. It's by a friend of mine who's in one of my business groups. Her name is Star Monroe. You can find her at Goddess Star Monroe on Instagram if you want more cool quotes from her. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We are talking about how to have fun using intentions and vision boards to call in the higher powers that be so that you can create a business and life that you love. That's the theme. And I hope that's what you're here for, because that's what you're going to get. So what? What does that really mean? Listen, it doesn't matter if you spend thousands of dollars on college or thousands of dollars on online marketing programs. If you aren't pursuing work that lights you up, then what's the point? There's really no point if you put all of your energy into learning something new, into creating something, if it really doesn't light you up. And so the whole point of this webinar, if you get nothing else out of it, is to stop and think consciously about what it is that you really want to call into your life right now. Okay, so why use intentions and vision boards and books? Here's the top 3 reasons. So it helps you gain clarity, it helps you stay focused, and it helps get what you want, as we heard from Star Monroe. All right, so the agenda, what we're going to do today, I'm going to walk you through my story and tell you how this process has been helpful to me. So helpful. In fact, it's my #1 tool in my business and life to getting what I want. Then we're going to hear from some other people as they share their stories of how they've used intentions and vision boards to create the life and business that they love. Then I'm going to break it down for you and tell you exactly how that process works. And then there's going to be help is on its way. I'll help you with any questions that you have, and we can walk through this together. So I'm just going to stop for a second and check the chat box here. And let me just refresh it and see if there's anything coming up here from you guys. Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's see. We have Michelle Hill. Hello. Do Be Social. Hey, girl. 3, I want to learn how to attract the right clients for my biz and using vision boards. We're going to cover that. Aloha, Gina from Maui. Hello, Gina. You made it. And Michelle, you're from Manchester, New Hampshire. Okay, not too far. And Sarah Leather, my mentor, my business mentor is here. That's great. And Anastasia, awesome. So I'm assuming that you guys can see my screen, but if you can't see my screen, let me know. I'll check back in the chat in just a minute. But let's go ahead and get started and share my story. So about 10 years ago, I made my first real intention. and it was abundance. And so what happened was I was in a job that I wasn't really loving, and my friend said, let's start this book group. And we read the book Overcoming Under-Earning by Barbara Stanny. And she had an activity for you to come up with your intention. And so mine was just abundance. And then this happened. I got pregnant. And so my book club said, oh, Deshae, you're such a master manifester. You called for abundance and you immediately got pregnant. And I was like, wow, that wasn't exactly expected. I mean, it was good timing because I was married and I had just finished my master's degree, and I was working I had a job. And so things were very stable. It was actually a really good time. And deep in my heart, I really did want to get pregnant, but it wasn't exactly what I was thinking when I said abundance, because really what I meant was cold hard cash. And so that was a bit of a surprise. So what I learned from that process is that you need to be really clear about what you ask for, because abundance could be abundance of wealth, it could be abundance of a baby, it could be abundance of problems. So be careful what you ask for, and we're going to talk a lot more about clarity with what you ask for. So anyway, then I was pregnant and I was in this job, and I thought it was going to be this awesome job. It turns out it wasn't so awesome. And so I wasn't really happy. It was a 9 to 5, and I'm just not a 9 to 5 person. So I really wanted to quit my job, but I also really wanted to buy a house because we were renting at the time. And I wanted to quit, and I wanted to have this house, and I wanted to stay home with my baby. But of course, those three things don't really go together very well, do they? You don't quit your job. By the way, I had no savings because I just finished grad school. And we spent everything moving to Vermont. And anyway, we just didn't have any savings. So how was I going to buy a house and quit my job at the same time? That doesn't really make sense. But, I was learning about intentions, and I thought, well, I'm going to make this intention and I'm going to focus on it every day. And I focused on it every single day for 9 months. And this is a really long story. That would take me half an hour to tell you the whole story. So I'm not going to do that right now, but I am going to leave a link. If you scroll up in the comments, you will see a link to that. And also, I'm going to send you an email that's going to have a direct link. If you scroll up in the comments, you'll see the link takes you to another opt-in, or it asks you to put your email in there. You don't have to do that. So just hold on, and when I send you the email, I'll give you a link to that story, where you can learn the whole story of how I manifested that. But what happened was, it did work in this very strange way. It did work. I got everything I wanted. I got the house. I got to stay home with my baby, not for just 1 year, but actually 3 years without having to work full time. And I did quit that job. So I realized this stuff works. This intention stuff really works, but I needed to work on my methodology for it, because I was still like halfway worried that it wasn't going to work, and I was halfway freaking out that we didn't have a plan. So it was like my energy was very mixed. I was like, I'm worried this isn't going to work, but I'm going to try this. Okay, I'm going to turn off my phone. Somebody always calls me during a webinar. That's I don't know why. I'm going to check my chat here and make sure that you guys can see me and everything. Sorry for the phone ringing here. That's the thing about these webinars, you get a lot of distractions. So I think so far everything's good. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Why can't I turn off my lights? Sorry about that. Distractions. Focus. Okay. Anyway, I realized this stuff really works. And I started using it in other areas of my life. In fact, I ended up, instead of just having one piece of paper with all my intentions, I ended up filling lots of journals. And so I call these journals my vision books. And so other ways that I've used my vision books are to help me create my business and my branding and exactly what it is that I want to do in my business. So in 2014, even in 2013, I got the opportunity to write a book. And so I used my vision book, what you'll see on the left, to plan out how I was going to transition out of my job. This was a different job at the time. I actually liked this job when I was working at Marlboro College. And but I really wanted to be doing my own thing. So I charted it all out, and I recommend that you do this. You know, you can do this in many different ways. I like to make it fun and pretty. And you can see there, 2013 in October, I was drafting my book, and I wanted to get to a point where by December I could leave my job and transition full-time into my current job as a lifestylist. So I used this to help me transition out of my job and also to manifest this book. And also I've used my vision book to help me create my brand and the name and the style for my website. So if you have a business right now, an online business, and you're struggling with your branding, you know, get out some pencils, get out some colored pencils, and start collaging or whatever it is that you need to do to feel creative. Just get your ideas out on paper. So you can see here again on the left how this was just an idea. And on the right, you can see that, you know, I've actually manifested a really pretty and beautiful website that creatively expresses who I am. And that's all through the vision boarding and vision books. And then, you know, probably the thing that I'm really most proud that I've been able to manifest is I recently ran a retreat to San Miguel de Allende, a place that I've wanted to visit for a really long time, a place that holds my heart. And I was thrilled that I was able to fill this retreat. And, you know, I wrote about it in my vision books, and I wrote an intention that I wanted to fill it, and I just focused on that. And that happened. All right. So here's another quote. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein. And I love this quote too, because we're taught in the Western world to think very critically, to use our brains to dissect information, to think critically about things. And it can also be very powerful to use your imagination and to think with your heart. And so that's what I would encourage you to do, to allow your mind to take a break and start to focus on your heart, because your heart will lead you to the place, it will lead you to do the things that you're meant to do while you're here visiting planet Earth for this short amount of time. We're here for a reason. So, you know, we don't want to go through life on, taking care of other people's agendas. We want to go through life and we want to experience joy and happiness, and we want to use our abilities to make a difference in the world. And usually that's the way we know that is through our heart, not necessarily our brains. Okay, so I like to write out my life intention and focus on the feelings rather than particular exact things that I want to manifest. So I will just give you an example here. And also in my last email, I gave you a link, and it has my life intention written out as well as other intentions from some of my clients, so you can get an idea of how to write your own intention. Okay, so I'm just going to read this. I am surrounded by beauty. My home, gardens, and personal style creatively reflect my essence of who I am. I am inspired by my surroundings. I have opportunities to experience international cultures, travel, and have access to warm climates. My work is fulfilling, creative, and I'm able to use my talents and passions towards my higher purpose. Work feels like play. It fuels me. I feel energized. I feel supported and recognized. I feel proud and successful. I feel financially abundant and free to make choices based on my intuition rather than my pocketbook. I am grateful for good health. Life at home with my family is peaceful and pleasant. I have plenty of time and energy for my family and friends. I'm grateful. I'm lucky. Thank you. So I hope that gives you a good idea of, you know, how I'm creating my life according to my own values and what I seek to create and what I crave in my life. And reading it, I just love to read it because I probably wrote this 2 or 3 years ago, and everything is still very relevant. Beauty is very important to me. I want to be surrounded by beauty. I love international travel. And the funny thing is, pretty much the way I've written it is how I'm living my life. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm still working on. The financial abundance piece, that's my thing. I'm still working on that. But my lifestyle is very much on par with what I've written, and I know it will continue to be that way. Okay, so here's some tips for you on writing your intention. So you always want to use the present tense. You don't want to put it in the future too much, because then that means that it'll always be in the future. Like, one day I'm going to quit my job, or one day I'm going to have the life that I want. It'll always be one day. So write it as if it's happening right now. Focus on what makes you feel good. Make it fun. Keep it positive, and think big. So you want to stretch yourself a little bit. You want to use your imagination, as we were talking about before, to stretch and really, really just be honest about what it is that you want in your life, because you can definitely create it. So if you want more tips and samples, again, I have the worksheet in the email, or you can scroll up in the comments and you can find that. Okay, so have you used an intention or a vision board or a vision book to help manifest something awesome in your life or business? I'd love to hear. So take a minute and tell me in the chat, and I'm going to refresh my chat and see if I can see the comments here. As you're doing that, I'm just going to keep going. All right, awesome. Okay, so I made a little video for you, and I hope that you can see it. The last thing I'm seeing on my chat is from Anastasia from Sydney. Hello. So I'm assuming you guys can see this. So if you can't, please let me know on the chat. And I will play this video for you right now. Here we go.
Hi, and welcome to my vision book, or books, I should say. I've been making these for the past 8 years. And as you can see from the photos, I've used it in my personal life as well as my business life. And I love using vision books because it helps me visualize the things that I want to call into my life in an organized fashion. Because maybe like you, I'm a very multi-passionate person. I have a lot of ideas flowing through my head. There's a lot of things that I want to create, and it's very helpful for me to just get that down on paper in a fun and creative way. This process that I'll explain to you in further detail outside of this video has helped me to build my brand, figure out my color inspirations for my website, think about colors that I want to use in my blog and newsletter, as well as it's helped me to actually write my book and figure out taglines and that kind of thing. So sometimes I have long-term goals, like 2013 was write the book and build the brand. That's a pretty lofty goal, but I did it, and I think this process really helped me to do it faster than I normally would have. So within this book, these books, I write my intentions, the things that I want to call into my life. And I also put just pretty things. I make it pretty and fill it with visuals that inspire me. Sometimes it's stories of other people. Sometimes it's my own stories. Sometimes it's my daughter's artwork. Sometimes it's quotes or notes from people that have sent to me, people I've worked with. Oftentimes I like to write down my accomplishments so I remember what I've already created, because sometimes you start to feel like, what am I doing? I'm not doing enough. But then when you look back and you say, okay, actually, yeah, I'm doing a lot. I'm living the life that I'm consciously wanting to create. So my process by having these books is I can go back and I can see where I've been and I can see where I'm going. For example, here I have a couple of pictures of Mexico. I've always wanted to lead an international retreat, and I just filled my first one in February. That was awesome. I often use this book to chart out designs, concepts, like for my book launch, the actual space, how I feel the retail store, that was pretty much empty, into a space that was full of home decor and my books and that kind of thing. And yeah, it's often just helpful to go back through and think about where I want to go and where I'm going. So I hope you're kind of getting an idea here of a little insight to my life and how I've used this tool to help me create a business and life that I love. I also have a vision board that I keep. It's in the left-hand corner of my house from the door. That's your prosperity corner in Feng Shui. So a lot of people use vision boards. I use vision boards and I use vision books. It's also helped me to think long-term about my business. I don't have a long drawn-out business plan. I just pretty much have one page that has my 5-year goal. I've used it to call a mentor into my life. I have a wonderful high-end business mentor that helps me stay focused as well. And I always say thank you when I manifest things that I love, because gratitude brings abundance.
Okay, I hope you guys like that little video. I noticed in some of my webinars in the past, sometimes I just wanted to share my vision books with people and I'd hold them up to the camera and you can't see anything. And so, you know, I started to take pictures to share pictures with you of the things that were important to me that I've manifested with my business and my life. And I think there were like 70 pictures and I was like, that's too many. So I just decided it would be quicker and easier to share that with a video. So I hope you like the little video. But I did want to pull out a couple pieces and talk a little bit more about those particular pieces. And one is that I'm just a very visual person. I think that we all learn in different ways, but if you're a creative solopreneur, probably you also are very visual. And so, you know, you might try making a visual business plan. And, you know, this could be on a giant piece of paper. This could be on a little tiny piece of paper. Whatever it is that lights you up. Like for me, I just put it right in my vision book. And I've been unclear many times in my life. You know, I've always had this desire to do creative work and help other people. And I get really fired up by helping people figure out what they want to do with their life. Sometimes it's not as easy to figure out when it's yourself. You know, it's easy to give other people advice, but I don't know, I was meditating, I was quiet, and it just kind of all came to me, this 5-year vision plan. And so I wanted to quickly get it out on paper, and this is how it ended up for me. So you can see this was written in April 29th last year, so almost a year ago. And you can see that my vision is to have 3 books, to have online courses, and to maybe one day have a training institute for other lifestylists to help people learn how to do what I'm doing. So I've already, you know, you can see the 3 categories for the books are home decor, personal style, and livelihood. And to me, that all falls under the umbrella of Sweet Spot Style. And I've already written the first book on home decor. So, you know, the next thing will be to do the e-course for home decor and maybe an e-course on business, and then continue to write. So that's how I've used this to keep on track and to keep focused on my long-term vision. Another thing that I really wanted for quite a while since I decided to start this process of starting my own business was I really wanted a high-end mentor. I wanted somebody that I could look up to that is, you know, a few steps ahead of me that could really help me in my business and just show me the ropes, you know. And so back on May 2014, I made this and put this in my vision book. And I said, you know, I want a mentor who is experienced, accessible, hands-on, authentic, inspiring, and can help me make my financial goals. And, you know, this one took a little while, but it actually happened last month. Sarah Leather, who's on this call, so you can say, hi, Sarah. Put your website in the chat if you want to, if you're here still. I don't know, I think Sarah had watched my last webinar on your online presence, and I had contacted her. She was helping me VIP my business, and we just started chatting, and I think I said, I want to be your understudy. Like, I'd like to be like your, your intern or something. And she was like, well, actually, I kind of wanted to hire you. And so we decided to hire each other. And so, that was amazing, because here I was getting a mentor who really believes in me so much that she's willing to hire me, and so we've hired each other. And so now I just love that we're going to get to work together in that way. And so, from the last webinar, someone said, how long does it take you to manifest things? Or, you might quit because you think it's not working. Sometimes these things take time. Like in my very first example of how I quit my job and bought my first house and all of that, like that took me 9 months to manifest. And this one took me nearly a year too. But there's other things that I manifest really fast. Like one weird one was that I really wanted to, well, this is more of a personal example, but I wanted to remodel my kitchen. I'd wanted to for a long time. And I think I wrote it down, that I wanted to remodel my kitchen. I didn't think I should spend money on remodeling my kitchen because I was just starting a business. And then my husband accidentally burned our kitchen down, which was really bad. But the benefit of it was that we got this insurance money to remodel our kitchen. And so I think that it was in the back of my mind, but then when I fully expressed that I wanted it, it was probably like within a month that accident happened. And I will admit that I have had a history of manifesting things that I want through weird accidents. But I stopped that because I started adding to my intentions. For example, like I would like a new kitchen, and then I add in a healthy and safe way for me and my family, because that has been a pattern that I'm kind of ready to break now. So my new thing is I manifest a beautiful lifestyle and all the things that I want in a healthy and safe way for me and my family, doing work that I love. So I really want to manifest the money through the work. So, hey you, what is your biggest wish in your business or life right now? So go ahead and tell me in the chat. I'd love to hear, what is your ideal situation in your business or your life right now? And so go ahead and tell me in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few more things here. I'm going to give you 5 tips for manifesting faster. Okay, because sometimes it's like, oh, this is taking forever. Okay, so write it down. Focus on what it is that you want, not what you don't want. So this is where I get caught up a lot of times. You get in these patterns of thought, right, your mindset, and you tell yourself these stories over and over and over again, and then those stories become your reality. So, and this is a very personal example, but, in my own life, I grew up and I had this constant feeling of lack. It's like, we don't have enough, and when we have money, we'll be happy. So that was sort of the scenario, that was sort of the message. And so now in my life, that feeling, that old story will come up for me quite often. And it says, I don't have enough, and when I have this much money, I'll be happy. And I have to stop myself from thinking that and continuing to think that all the time. And I have to look around at the reality and say, wait a minute, that's not true. Like, I have proof because I have all these vision books of the things that I've manifested. I know how to manifest. I know how to manifest money, and I know how to manifest beautiful things into my life. So I know that that isn't true, and I have to let go of focusing on those negative limiting beliefs so that I can call in what I do want. And I think part of that is also just feeling gratitude for what you do have. That's a good way to remind you of what you do have. And third, we've talked about this, use your imagination. Don't worry. Worry is like praying for bad things. So you definitely don't want to spend too much time worrying, because you'll start to see that you're manifesting that kind of stuff. So that's another thing of just being conscious of what you're thinking about and focusing more on what you want rather than what you don't want. And then always say thank you. So just to kind of get back to that process, my exact process, I'll come up with something that I want. I'll write that in my vision book. Sometimes I'll have a visual to go with it. And then I'll just focus on that. And if it's a written intention, I'll read that every day if I'm trying to manifest something new. And then when I get the thing, which I always do eventually, then I say thank you. And I write down the date that I've asked for the thing, and I write down the date when I get it. And so again, then I have this sort of proof. So if I start to doubt that this works, I can go back and I can look at all these books and say, oh yeah, I remember that I was trying to figure out how I was going to pay for this private school for my daughter, and I got a scholarship, when she was in preschool. And oh yeah, Matt used to work 45 minutes away, and we worked together to try to manifest a job that was closer for him so he wouldn't have to have that big commute. And yeah, he's only 5 minutes away now. So all of these things, I like to write down the date, and then I like to say thank you. Okay, so I've explained how I've manifested a lot of stuff in my life, and now I'd like to share some case studies. So I asked some people, how have they used vision boards in their life? And I got a lot of responses, and I got too many to share, but I just picked 3 that I thought I would share with you today. But before I do that, I'm just going to check the chat here really quick. Anastasia, that was great. I think you're referring to the video. Thank you. Anastasia, I'd love to find a mentor too. So Anastasia, maybe you could try, coming up with a vision board or a vision book and putting something about calling in a mentor and saying what kind of mentor you would like. That'd be awesome. Guest 807, you said, to fully express what I can do for my clients and to be visible with that message, creating clients. VIP clients is my goal. Awesome. Well, that's something that I've just discovered through working with Sarah Leather is that I love working with VIP clients. I've come up with a new program that's on my website, and that's totally possible. I'm not sure who you are, guest 807, but that's for you. Anastasia says gratitude is very important. Yes, it is. Okay, let's look at how other people have used vision boards in their life. So Deborah Mazer is a raw chef and author, and she recently won the Best of Raw Awards in 2014. And she's been featured on Chris Carr and lots of other media sites. And she told me in an email that she made this vision board several years ago, 2007. And although she's created a business in life that she loves, she said the main thing that she was really impressed by was that she met the love of her life. And the person that's now in her life looks a lot like somebody that's in one of these pictures. So if you look kind of in the middle of the screen, you'll see this woman with kind of dark hair and blue eyeshadow. She said that her new love looks like that woman. And I just thought that was really cool. Okay, so another case study. This is Kim Ewell. And she said that she uses, each month she creates a page with 3 big goals. And when I read her goals, I was like, wow, that's impressive. So, she wants to write a book, launch an e-course, and have 6 webinars. And she said that she totally did that. So that's another good reason to write this stuff down so that you can stay focused. So she did. She filled her webinar. She wrote a book. I'm assuming it was an ebook, and she is creating this new e-course. So if you want to learn more about her, there's her website below. I'll send that in the email as well, embracinghappy@kimewell.com. And the third one is from Louise Gale. Louise Gale is a friend of mine, and I asked her to write, to contribute to one of my chapters in my book on color and how color can influence how you feel in your home. And so we've become good friends over the last couple of years, and I knew that she did vision boards, and I asked her to share one with you. And she gave me a big list of how she's used vision boards to create a business in life that she loves. She has a pretty cool life. I mean, she lives in a beautiful white village in Spain, and she creates art, and she teaches e-courses, and she does exactly what she loves to do, and she makes money at it, which I just think is amazing. But the thing she wanted to highlight was that from this vision board, she says, I manifested a free trip to Morocco, which has led me to make great design contacts and also write articles for 2 magazines, as well as gather inspiration for a new art design series for my portfolio. So again, I just love how you can use this for your life, but you can also use this to really go further, think bigger, and grow in your business. Okay, so again, what are we talking about? What's the purpose of this webinar? Hopefully you're starting to get the idea that using vision boards or books can help you gain clarity, stay focused, and get what you want. And I'm just going to stop here for just a second because I've talked about vision boards and books. So the video that I showed you really explained vision books, but I also use a vision board. And when I get back on, when I do the screen share, you'll see behind me in my office that I keep my vision board. It's in the left-hand corner of my house, and in Feng Shui, the left-hand corner of your house from where you enter, like your main entrance, is your prosperity corner. So that's a really good place to basically not have any clutter and then make it really clean and beautiful and open so that you can attract abundance there, abundance, financial abundance, or whatever it is that you crave, and make it beautiful. So that's where I keep my vision board. But a vision board is just not going to fill all. I need a lot more space than just a vision board. So that's why I've created the books. Okay, so what have you learned so far? Are you ready to make a vision book or board? Let me know. Tell me what you've learned so far in this webinar. And just to rehash, if more people did work they love, the world would be a happier place. So let's start with you. So I think, you know, if I had to say what my higher purpose is in life, it would be to encourage people to really get clear about what it is that they want to do and to do that thing, and to, you know, not be slightly miserable doing something for your whole life that's not your thing, because so many people do. I read a statistic that 70% of people, 70% of Americans are unhappy at work. And if you're unhappy at work, gosh, we spend so much time there, don't we? That trickles down to your family, to who you are as a friend, to who you are as a sister, as a wife. And, you know, it's scary to really admit the thing that you want to do, the thing that lights you up, because if you don't get it, it's devastating. But if you do go for it, and I promise you, if you go for it and you don't quit, that eventually it will happen and you'll be successful, and it's worth the risk. So I just encourage you, if you don't know what that is, start a vision board, write your intention, and just start with that. It's not that it's going to be easy. It may not happen in one day. It may take a lifetime, but it's better to try than not try at all. And I guarantee you, if you try and you stick with it, you're going to see some results. Okay, so that's kind of my big message. But while I have your attention, I would love to know what you would like to learn in my next webinar. So tell me in the chat. Here's some ideas. So you can look at these and just give me the letter of the idea that interests you the most. Or if you see something, if you have an idea for me that's not listed, I'd love to hear it. So here's some ideas that I came up with that I thought maybe you guys would be interested in. And that would be, A would be the first 500, how to grow your email newsletter list. So if you're thinking about starting an online business, or you have an online business and you're like, okay, I know that I need to grow my list, but how? That would be one idea. The second idea is how to make pretty graphics using your blog or newsletter. So if you follow my blog or if you follow my newsletter, you can see that I make all the graphics using free software. It's called PicMonkey. And that was something that I thought I could teach pretty easily. That might be fun. And the third idea, C, would be blogging 101, just sharing tips on how to use your blog to attract your ideal customer and share your stories. And D, the key to standing out online, using your voice in your story, because I really do believe that if you can be authentic and you can creatively express who you are in your life and in your brand, that you're going to have so much more fun. You're going to attract the clients that you want to attract, and you're going to attract the experiences and the opportunities that you want to attract. So, so that would be D. And then E, you know, what else? What else do you want to learn? Okay, so I'm just going to check the chat here. And we have a lot of comments. So let me go to the beginning. Okay, do be social. I love that board. Thank you. I want to make a book first so that I can take it with me everywhere. Yeah, I love that. I definitely take my books with me. I like to take them to the cafe, and I definitely took it with me to Mexico, and sometimes I'll print stuff off, you know, like I had a little place that was like Mexico, and I took some pictures and I printed it off and actually put it in. You saw in the video. Michelle, you'd love to learn how to focus. Yes. Gina, I want to make books. It cures my 3 issues: clarity, focus, and receiving it. Yeah, you have to be able to receive it. I have a few goals, but get so easily distracted. Need to create a vision board to stay focused with my goals. Anastasia. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is like focus, clarity. Yes. If you are a multi-passionate person, probably you're also a multi-talented person. And I'm kind of the same way. And it's like, whoa, I could do this, I could do that. You have a million ideas, and you come up with one idea and you start with that one, but then either you get bored or you get a better idea and you move to that one. And then what happens is you don't ever completely finish. You don't take it all the way to completion. You take it like halfway or 75% there, and then you switch to something else. And then what happens is you start to believe that you can't finish anything and you're not successful, you know? So it's like, oh, I had this business idea and I started this program and I put it out there, but nothing happened. So I went to the next idea and the next idea, but you didn't totally finish it. You didn't totally completely market it the way you were supposed to. Then of course, you're not going to have a great result from that. But the problem is that you think, oh, I can't be successful because I can't accomplish anything. And so what you need to do, and I've had to do this myself, is you need to pick one thing, 1 to 3 things, and focus on those things. But even if you start to get distracted or something else is pulling your attention away, just stick with it. Just stick with it and accomplish it. Even if you're feeling like bored and distracted or whatever comes your way, just finish it, because if nothing else, you'll know that you're able to complete something. And that's important, because you need to have faith in yourself and confidence in yourself that you can. So then the next thing comes around, you can do that. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay. And I think that's where the vision board and books come in really handy too, because it reminds you, and over time you'll start to see patterns. You know, so I didn't know what I was going to do 4 years ago. I had no idea that I was going to write a book and be a lifestylist. I just invented that. But it was, if you look back over like the last 10 years, you can see hints of it all through these vision books, of me trying to figure it out, trying to do all these different things. And sometimes you do have to explore a little bit. But for example, once I decided to write the book, that was it. I was like, okay, this book is happening, and it's happening fast. And the vision board helped me stay on track with that. And so I'm seeing here, good ideas to share. Yep, you're reading my mind. That's me, exactly. And then there's a lot of B's and D's here, it looks like, for what you guys want to see next. So that's awesome. Okay, so I'm not sure why you're here. Maybe it's because you need support creating or growing your sweet spot business or your life. Maybe you want to attract your ideal clients to your business. Maybe you want to do work that's more meaningful and inspired, fulfilling, creative, fill in the blank, and you need some divine guidance. Well, I hope that I've been able to help you with that a little bit today. I do work one-on-one with clients, and I've just started a new group program. You can check that out on my website. This isn't a pitching webinar. I just really wanted to give today. But if you want to hear more, if you want to learn more about me, you can always go on my website. And I've been doing these 30-minute mini Sweet Spot style clarity calls, and I just absolutely love it. And so if you want to do that, I'm going to send this link to in the email. You'll get in about 30 minutes. And if you're watching this from the replay, you can also email me as well. And you can book a 30-minute clarity call, and we can talk about any challenges that you're having right now. If you're having problems with busting through fear or limitations, negative beliefs, or you're struggling with clarity or focus, hopefully I've given you some tools today to help you get on your way. But of course, I actually have a 7-step process. And again, you can learn about that on my website. I think it's under Work With Me. You can read about my new program. But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to go over here back to getting off the presentation here. And I'm going to stop the screen share. So again, your screen is going to look a little funny. It's going to look a little funky here as I come back to you. And we have a few more minutes, so I'm going to see if I can get back on the chat. Let's see. It looks like it knocked me off the chat. I'm going to see if I can try to get back on the chat. But if I can't, then at least I will answer you when I get off this Google Hangout. I will go back in the chat and I'll answer your questions there. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do because now I can't get back in my chat for some reason on my phone. So I hope this webinar has been helpful for you, and I'm going to close out the Google Hangout. I'm going to go on chat on my computer, and I'm going to still hang out with you guys if you're here live. And if you're not live and you're watching this replay, then if you want to book a clarity call with me and hang out for a little bit, that'd be fun too. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you continue to use your imagination, think with your heart, and really start creating your sweet spot. Start creating a life and business that you love, because if you do, it will make the world a better place. And that's what we want, right? So, all right, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you in a minute if you're on chat. Bye.